Hey, you're now tuned in to Underdog Talk. I'm your host, Eric Jones Jr., the underdog with the heroic heart. And I have conversations with successful underdogs. And today I have Dr. Lamarr Renee Spencer, a relationship life coach. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for coming on. I remember I seen you post something, and I don't know what happened. I seen you post again. I was like, let me make sure I get her on because I wanted to get you on before. But I'm all right. I'm a little tired. I just got done recording the episode. So once I get done with you, I'm gonna eat and go to sleep.
I don't blame you. I don't blame
Yeah.
you. And I apologize because you're right, you did. But honestly, this whole podcasting has been new to me, right? And it's almost like a different language. I thought, oh yeah, you just click the button for StreamYard and you just go. Well, it's not like that. You got to create your thumbnails, your hosting. I mean, I felt like I was in school the last few months, so I apologize, but thank you for circling back with me because people were like, "Oh, I'll be on your podcast," and I was like, "Okay." And then next thing you know, I forget, and then it just went away. So now I have like a form where people can like sign up to be a guest. And one of the other podcasters showed that to me. So I was like, okay, cool. But that's what happened. I apologize. Like I said, I've been up trying to figure out, and then technology. And I was like, oh gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I definitely understand about the podcasting because when you do it by yourself, oh Lord, it's like it's days where I didn't thought I didn't had an episode set up for the time, everything, and I didn't got off work and I didn't went to go look at the episode. It ain't even loaded. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I definitely understand. But I was like, it got to be meant for her to get on the show because you doubled back and commented. I was like, oh, I remember her, and I remember I wanted to get her on the show. So before we get into our conversation, today's episode is brought to you by Christian Dewan. That's my personal brand. It's me and my son. Positive energy through your clothes. You're going to get different sayings on the shirt, hoodie, sweatshirt. Definitely going to have some new stuff coming in for the fall. But if you use the promo code Underdog Talk, Underdog is spelled UNDERDAWG, Talk, you'll get 15% off at Christian Dewan, and Dewan is spelled DEJUAN. And just check us out and support, the brand. So, your relationship coach, how
Yeah.
did that go about? Was it something you was just had the best relationship ever, or it was you went through a lot of relationships and you had to learn and you was like, I'm just going to help some people?
No, I've been doing it for about 20 years, right? And I have to say, like at one point, I was the laughing stock at work because I kept getting engaged. And finally, my coworkers are like, look, we're never having another engagement party for you because we've had like two or three before, right? And they really would bring me like really nice gifts. And then it got to the point where I promise you, I had like more engagement rings than Michael Jordan had championship rings. So even my mother was like, she flat out said, don't bring another damn ring here. And people never took me serious. I was like, no, I'm getting engaged. They was like, yeah, right. So I thought, I was like, nah, it's something up with me. So I just really started charting myself, right? So I was like, it's gotta be. So I remember she asked me, she's like, what you doing? I said, I'm trying to find myself. She said, well, where the hell you been? I was like, I don't know. I'm really trying to figure that out. I'm trying to figure out like if it's me in a relationship, is it them? Like, am I like attracted to a certain type of guy? Like, what's the deal? But all I knew is that like the third or fourth month mark, they wanted to get married. And I was like, Dag, I thought the women be wanting to get married, but it was the guys. But anyway, I did get married, and that, it lasted for about 4 or 5 years. But I realized that I was like, nah, my relationships weren't bad. Uh, because when you look at other people's relationships, she's like, Dad, I keep mine. So people always came to me for advice because I figured like, who else better give you advice than people who have gone through some things, right? So I did not set out to be like, I'm gonna be a relationship person. No, like it really was not like that. Like I was working, like I have a job, right? And so people, they started coming to me. And next thing I was like, well, maybe I got to set up a website. And then they were like, well, where can we find you? And then I was like, oh my God, now I got to be on the screen, and now I gotta like really help people and I have to be like organized. So, like I said, with this whole podcasting thing and being on social media, and then I had to be in social groups, right, with people going through, and I was like, gosh, like really? So, but that's how I kind of got into it. And it's been, it's been cool. And I look at myself as like kind of being different because when I started like really getting into it, like I went and got certified. I went to the trainings. I did a lot of clients for free. And I always did people who had like problems, I call them, that were much different than anything I had ever heard. So I always tell people, like, I'm that coach, I'm like the junk drawer in the kitchen because they will find me and I get people. When we were talking about, remember I said about the relationship, I have people from the clergy who, just to give you an example, so I have clergy men who they have a wife, but they have side pieces and maybe birthdays, and everybody need a gift. I have those, and then I have some where they may be I get the PTO, teachers, the librarian, but they're swingers. I mean, I get some that, when I tell you, I get some that they have like construction businesses, but they want to make somebody who's a prostitute like their main girl. So I get people, like I said, from everywhere, walks of life. I have people who they're working, they're 9 to 5, but they're in a relationship with somebody who's in prison and they're coming out of prison or they're going in prison. So I just get so many different types of relationships.
I got that's funny. I definitely don't know nothing about the jail and that kind of relationship, but I definitely have. Like you said, I was recently married and I had to find myself because I think a lot of people, when you're in a relationship, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you like, if you don't know those things, then you'll just go for anything and then you'll accept anybody. And I always used to wonder. I had a friend and they different girl, different girl. I'm like, man, I was like, hey man, you don't think it's you? Like, you don't think is it them? Are you getting the same kind of women? And sometimes we have to sit back and think like it was me. In this part of the relationship, I was the one messing up. I was the one doing wrong, and I had to realize that with my marriage. Like, okay, she did do some stuff, but I did some stuff, and I can't be like it's all on her. So now it's like I worked on myself. Now I don't accept any kind of bullshit. Like I don't accept it at all. And I love how you said like, okay, I got married, but no, this ain't it. Because sometimes people think marriage, like not saying of divorce is, something that I would speak of, but sometimes you gotta let that go. Like you'll be stuck in a hamster wheel. The marriage will be going and it'll get good and then it'll go bad. And it's like, okay, y'all ain't gonna figure that out. And then it's time to walk away. And sometimes you don't walk away. I hear a lot of people say, well, I've been married for such and such, or I was married for this long, but I should have been married for 5 years less. Why you ain't walk away? You don't gotta stay. Like it's not, I know the bigger picture of marriage, but you don't have to stay. So, in relationships, are you all right right now? Are you in a relationship, or you're still single?
No, you know what I'm gonna tell you? It's easier for me to find people. It's easier for me to find relationships with other people and help them with theirs than mine. It's just
Hmm.
easier, right? And I'm gonna tell you, what turns people off is, and I hate to say it, but it's the truth. When they find out what I do, like I have to tell them what my trade is. So, like, my trade is I write managed care contracts. Like, that's my trade, right? For the jails, the prisons, and like your AARP and all those. That's my trade. So when I tell people, oh yeah, I also am a relationship coach, they're like, oh my God. I hear people like, word? Like, yeah. But just because these are like your professions doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that you're going into a relationship or you want to date somebody and you're up here waiting for them to mess up or you waiting for this. Like, nah, like just a regular person, like I'm cool. Like, like I am not like that. When I decide, okay, I want to shut it down, I'm shutting it down. I'm not trying to critique everything about you because I actually think it's more fun. Like I want somebody complete opposite of me.
Yeah.
They don't, people don't always think that. Like I'm like, if they say, well, what you like or whatever, I'm like, I like hip hop. This is what I like. I like to do nothing. I like to do the same thing everybody else do. So, but no, I mean, like I said, it's easier for me to find somebody else, and I work long hours too. But that's not to say if I had some in my life, of course, I'm gonna cut that down. I be shutting the computer down like I'm shutting it down like Celie did in The Color Purple when she shut the computer that piano down.
I feel you on that. I'm like kind of the sort of the same way. It's like I be busy. Like, and if you don't really add value or if I don't feel like you take me away from my busyness, I'm not really about to mess with you. Like nothing against you, but you just ain't the person for me. So I understand when you tell people are like, oh, I do this, I want to be I'm working towards being an entrepreneur. Everybody don't think like that. So I remember my one of my homies, he was like, man, your next girl gonna be an entrepreneur. And I'm like, wonder if it's gonna be where she an entrepreneur out the gates, or is she gonna be like somebody that see what I'm doing and then want to become one? So I'm like you, I want the opposite. I'm a
Yeah,
people person. I'm loud. I like to cut. I cuss. Like I
yeah,
like hip hop. Like I want somebody the opposite of me. And sometimes people can't handle me. So it's like, dang, I mean, I can't help that who I am. I'm a lovable asshole. Like you take
yeah,
it or leave it. And sometimes people can't accept that. So I understand what you're saying. So with relationships, I'm gonna just give a scenario. I'm 36. I like older women, but I don't know if an older woman is gonna be the woman I settle down with. But I like older women. Why do you why do you think like that meshes an older person and a younger person?
Well, you know what? Actually, older people, when I like older like years ago was like our grandmothers. Now, grandmothers are not like it used to be. Like my grandmother to me was always old. Now, grandma getting lashes. Grandma got wigs. Like my mother honestly looked better than me. My mother almost 70 years old. We go somewhere, people hitting on her. She's the life of the party. Like she know more people than me. And you know what? Honestly, I have to say, older women like younger men because you're more fun. Because when you reach, and I'm not saying this for everyone, I put that disclaimer, but a lot of guys, especially black men, right? When you reach a certain age, them ailments kick in, right? Like, like my mother tell you in a minute, she's like, look, I'd rather change a young man's diapers than to take care of an old man. When I want to go out, you sitting up there, you knocked out. And I have to give credit where it's due. You got a lot of these young guys out here, they got it going on. They're working. You're right, they're entrepreneurs. Before, a lot of careers wasn't like, it wasn't as steady. Now you can be an influencer and make bank. You could be a podcaster. So, and it's fun. I've always been that way myself. I never really liked young men. So let me just point that out. But I don't want anybody older, old, right? But a lot of older women, because the reason I say that, because I get them, like some of my clients, the females is between 55 and 70. And let me just tell you, they are ready to date. They don't even want anyone in their age range. They're like, nah, we want to go out. We want to have a good time. They want to go to see the damn Cardi B's too. And they're paying.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That makes sense because like the different age group, I would say, but nobody really, maybe a few a little over 50, but none, like mostly in their 40s, later 40s. So you'll get some that's old. Like, you ain't even old. Like, I don't, sometimes people let that number or that old stigma that we say, oh, when you get this age, you old. But then you have some, like you said, like they listen to trap music. They still got Megan knees. They out here, and it's like with an older woman, they kind of like know what they want. They ain't gonna bullshit you. They like, hey, this is what I want. This is what, hey, we try to have fun. We ain't gotta be nothing exclusive. Or if you want to be exclusive, whatever, they let you know out the gates. And that's how most guys that I hang with, we letting you know like what kind of party it is, and people don't realize like off of it, it goes off of energy. Like women don't realize like it could be like, why you don't ever take me out? It's your energy. It could be somebody over here that they ain't like, oh, when you gonna take me out? They just like, when we spend time together, we spend time, and it's like, oh, I want to spend money on you. I want to do something with you. But it could be somebody else. I could be, having relations with her or whatever, and I don't really want to do nothing with you because your energy off. And I think that's where that mess, like a younger dude and an older woman, or vice versa. I don't really know. I'm not an older man because I definitely ain't going younger because I got goddaughters that's in her 20. I think she's about to be 25. It's like I kind of got like daughters your age. I can't mess with you. I already know that's too easy. But I kind of understood when I was in high school, the older dudes got on the younger chicks. It's like, how did these old cats? And when you
Yeah.
get older, you like, oh, I get it. So I definitely understand that. So to what I was just saying, why do you think and it could be male or female, why do you think people don't understand energy or a vibe in relationship? It don't got to be an actual relationship, but it can be it's a relationship. Why do you think people don't get that? Like they feel like they obligated just because they talking to somebody that person's supposed to do something, but they don't realize the energy's off.
Right. People are right. Like, for instance, you know how you're in somebody's company and you're like, damn, I can't wait to leave because they're boring, they're nagging. I mean, you're right. It's just, they may not even say anything, but you're right. It's that energy. It's like their aura. Sometimes, it's like endorphins, like what you put out, right? Like for me, I like somebody who's going to make me laugh, right? I like people who are spontaneous, and that's what it is. It's like more fun, right? And that's why you have the older people who like people younger, because guess what? You don't come with baggage. You have baggage, but it ain't like at that magnitude. You're fun. Because guess what? Sometimes you haven't even lived long enough to experience so many different things. So it's fun, right? And so, for instance, when I dated an older man, right? Like he told me, he said it's fun because I get to show you more serious things and you're more fun, right? And sometimes it works like that because you're right. You know how sometimes people could just start laughing and you start laughing, you don't even know what's funny, or like you love to be around them because they have that, they're fun, they're happy, they're jovial. And then you got people you're like, dang, as soon as I walked in the door, like my whole mood changed. Now you just want to go home. You're trying to figure out a reason to get away from them, and sometimes it's like that. With women, sometimes I will say it's more like that with some women, and I don't want to say it like that, but it's the truth. Sometimes you could be so serious, you could be boring, right? Because you need a balance. When I say balance, you need different people in your life in order to date one person. You need that person who, like for me, right? I have friends that really, they don't mind going to jail. I have friends, you know what I mean? Like, I have friends that you don't speak to them every day, but they always lit. They always ready. I got people that I be like, look, I'm coming over. They be like, come on. We got the liquor, the cards, and the food. And then I have some, they're like, okay, you know what? Sunday, I'm going to church and I'm going to be on time. And then I have some that's so analytical that you need that balance because by the time you get off the phone with them or from around them, you're mentally drained. So like I said, you need that balance. So whether you're male or female and you're trying to date someone, it's good to have people in your life that give you all those things so that you can be fun. Because if you always around people who are just boring, guess what? You're gonna be boring and not even realize you're boring. Like
That's true.
one of the best dates that I went on, and it was my ex-husband. We had like probably $50 between two of us. Okay, we were broke. We went to New York. You know how you walking down sometime in Times Square, and you got the guy with the underwear playing the guitar, and you got people saying, "Hey, you want to go to a comedy club?" But you don't realize it's $5, but it's actually in somebody's apartment. And you think you're gonna get mugged going up there. The best time I ever had, because it was. We didn't think about it. It was cheap. You know, we're in somebody's studio apartment and they're making us laugh. You know, and that's what it is. So if you guys, anybody go to New York, you'll go down there and them people be handing out little tickets to go concerts. I mean, you know, comedy, go see them. They're cheap and you have a good time, but it depends on who you're with.
Yeah,
Like,
that's definitely true. Like I'm fun. Like I entertain myself. I can sit at home and be dying laughing, and people be like, "You all right?" Yeah, I'm just funny. I'm
yeah,
fun. So I definitely get that. And sometimes people like I know when to be serious, but sometimes people are too serious. It's like yeah, like you said, you gotta have different people around you that you can, hang out with. Like you might have the people I got people I play cards with. I might not talk about business with some of them because they don't talk about business. But when it's time to play cards, hey, you coming through? Or I got, people I can call financially, hey man, I'm dealing with this or whatever the case, and I got different people, and you gotta have that, like you said, like you gotta have balance in your life so you can be balanced. Because if you always uptight or if you always not serious, then somebody ain't gonna take you serious. So you gotta realize to have that balance, but also you gotta be yourself. I think sometimes people like try to change when they're around certain people. I might not cuss as much around certain people, but I'm me. I'm not changed. I don't care. Once I understood my mama accepted me and I could talk how I talk around her, I'm like, I can talk around anybody. Like, I'm going to be myself. There's no reason for me not to say what I want to say. If I hurt your feelings, I apologize if it was something to hurt your feelings. But if it's something that you just got mad about and it really wasn't, I ain't sorry. Like, that's just, and I want you to do the same with me. So I think people don't realize to be they self in relationships, because sometimes you want to please a person. It's like you don't got to please them if you yourself. As yourself, you please them.
right.
So go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you. I was gonna say, you know what? I would like my grandmother. She used to be real cool, right? She said, when you first meet somebody, just start cussing. That way, they know where you're coming from, right?
I love it.
Yeah, just start cussing. They would see. That's the thing, right? When people get in relationships, right? They're always trying to put their best foot forward, knowing that they're making themselves unhappy and miserable. Now, 5 or 6 months later, you realize, like, nah, that ain't even that person. That's that person's representative. Just be yourself from the door, because chances are it's more sexier, and you're giving that person the opportunity to say, you know what, I want to be bothered or not. But guess what? Chances are they will, because you're honest. You are you up front. You ain't trying to be no one else. It is the truth. Like, shoot, I mean, like I said, I've got clients where, like, this female didn't even know this dude walking around with a freaking ankle monitor on for months. I'm like, you ain't know that? She's like, no. And he said, well, I was embarrassed. For what? So when she want to go somewhere and this damn thing buzzing, or you about to get locked up, what you think was going to happen? Like, let her know, because she might be cool about it. Be like, look, babe, don't go over here, because that damn monitor gonna get going. Come on back over here, But just be yourself, because guess what? Nobody can be you. And who wants to keep that facade up? Because one thing you got people who are very analytical to the point that they be waiting for you to get caught up in a lie. Or they sit up here, like I said, always trying to test you. Just be yourself. I guarantee you they'll roll with your chance 9 times out of 10.
That's true. I always tell people that, like, if I talk to a younger dude or when my son get a little older, hey man, just be yourself. Like, you ain't got to spit no game in nobody. Like, once you're yourself, you know how to hold a conversation. You can get just about any woman if she really feeling you. If you smell good, you feel, you attractive somewhat. you gonna get in there. You might get the number, you might not, it might not go nowhere, but you got in there because you was yourself. And that's why I'm me. Like, it's like my buddy, he always tell people, he told his wife, he was like, yeah, my buddy Eric, like you either gonna like him or you're not gonna like him. He ain't everybody cup of tea. And it's like, you not. Like, everybody didn't like Jesus. Everybody ain't gonna like me. But I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be me if I'm at school, at work, if I'm at church, if I'm playing basketball, wherever I'm at, I'm me. And it's like, when you're yourself, people gonna accept you. They gonna be like, man, even though he might say something crazy, I mess with him. He funny. Like, like you said, you could walk in a room, you could tell by people's energy. It's like, oh, here comes such and such. Oh Lord. It's like the conversation might stop. No, you should walk in the room and people be like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like, they smiling because it has to do with you, the energy. Like, your energy's on 1,000. You come in, they like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like, but if you come in and your energy low, you, especially being a man, I was just having a conversation with the guy before, like, as a man, if you come home, your energy off, everybody energy off. If you go somewhere, everybody energy off, because you're a man, because you like the leader. So you have to, as men, we have to have our energy up. And that's just being ourselves. It don't matter what you look like. It don't matter your situation, because it's about you. Because sometimes you can meet somebody and that person can help you. And they might not even, y'all might not even, hook up or be in a relationship, but they be like, man, something about you I like, and they be in a position to help you because you was yourself. And now y'all got a relationship where y'all have a business relationship or whatever the relationship is. It don't always got to be an actual relationship. So when people come to you, like, what are some of the, do they just come out and be like, hey, I'm going through this? Or is it like, are they scared to, like, tell you what's going on? How do people, approach you when they need help?
Well, it's funny because when they first meet me, it's weird because they get nervous, right? Because they be like, a black doctor? I'd be like, yeah. And then I tell them the truth. I said, well, look, it's not like I could be a stripper. It's not like I know how to braid hair. I don't like potato salad. I never learned how to do double dutch. So I was like, the hell with it. I better like be smart in school. And they think it's funny, but it's the truth, right? And I tell them, like, I never, some people have talents, right? I said, I never learned how to cornrow because if I did, guess what? I wouldn't be a doctor. I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be up here braiding hair and making YouTube videos and getting paid. Okay. And being an influencer. Like, that's what I'd be doing. Or driving the school bus. Right. So, but the thing about it, I said, when I talk to my clients, I said, leave the title at home, right? Like, forget the title. We're the same, because at the end of the day, guess what? You got issues, I got issues, right? So when they first come, really, once we get past that, they cool. They'll tell me exactly what's going on. And there's times where I'm not gonna lie, I'll be like, word? Like, for real? Because you just like can't believe some of these stories. And honestly, I think that they're so cool. And a lot of my clients, like, I'll be really like living vicariously through them because I just think they're so cool. Right. And when I tell you some of the stories I get, like, I mean, I don't even know how some of these people found me. So let's start there. And one thing I could say about us is, our people, if you tell them, let's just say my fee is $100, they're going to talk to you for about 30 minutes. They're going to be like, look, sis, I ain't got it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you an Amazon gift card. And I'm only going to send you $25 because that's all I got. And guess what? I'm like, okay, cool. Right? Because I like you. You done told me what the deal is from the door. Right? But I have so many different, like some of my newest ones that, I mean, it'd be funny. You can't even make it up. But when they come, they tell me, look, this is my situation. But God, I'm praying He's going to help me. That's what they start off with. And I'm like, but what is it? And so sometimes I get the female, like I have a female who's saying, look, my daughter is trying to go to FBI, but my husband getting out of jail and he's in the game. I'm like, damn, that's like that's just way too much going on. right? And then I have somewhere, like I have a guys who be like, look, my wife is abusing me, but she's in a wheelchair. She don't have legs, and she told me she gonna roll up on me. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, you can't make that up. So I get that, you know, for real. Like I get that.
Oh,
You know?
Lord.
And then I get somewhere they're like, look, my husband is cheating with my first cousin. They got a baby, but I still want him. But I'm gonna tell you, right, and this is the truth here. With women, their tolerance is so high. They may say, I'm leaving you, but it takes a long time. I promise you. We might tell our female friends, and we may tell people like, I'm out of here, I'm leaving. But chances are they will do everything possible before they leave. Okay. They may cuss you out, but it's the tolerance. Men are a little different. But I tell you, and I don't mean no harm. I'm just telling everybody from my perspective what I have seen. I always got to put these disclaimers because I get inboxes and they be trying to cuss me out. The clergies are the worst. Okay. They're the worst. When it comes to them conventions, oh my God. Okay. Like any and everything goes. I get them too. All right. They're going to sit on that pulpit on Sunday. They're going to go to Bible study. But Monday through Friday and Saturday, I'm telling you, there was somebody else. And that somebody else you will ask yourself, like, why is he with her? It'll be somebody with about 5 or 6 kids, paying $20 a month for Section 8, and he done bought her a car or he done leveled her up. I promise you, I see it all the time. And he's coming back saying, you shouldn't do this. And God didn't know every book in that Bible. I get those. I promise you I do. Right? And it's no particular sect. But I usually get the Baptists and the Kojic ones. Okay? Them the ones. The Muslims, they like, look, I'm going to have 5 wives, and I can take care of all of them, and this is what's going to be, but I'm going to respect them. You're like, okay, well, shoot, you don't need me, because y'all already got it situated, you know? But this is what I get, you know? And again, when they come, once I said we break that ice, yeah. But see, like I said, our people, there's no need for you to have a price list because they're going to tell you what they're going to pay. And by the time you finish, guess what? They don't cash at you, or next thing you know, you get an Amazon gift card, and they be like, look, tomorrow I'm going to call you again, and you better answer that damn phone. You like, dang, really? That's where they are. Or everything is an emergency. So, yeah, I mean, I get all different types. Like I said, it's not even one type. I mean, I have people who, I have a couple that really are, like I said, they're in construction. But he has a wife that, you know, is good for pictures and taking to the company parties and all the arts. But he's in love with the prostitute.
Mm.
Okay.
Like you got stuff like a movie. Like you hear stuff like that. That's that's
You know why he's in love with the prostitute? Because she's fun.
Yep.
You know what? She's fun. She don't care about anything. She just want to go out and have a good time. You'll figure it out later.
Yep.
She's real pretty, and there's no stress. Sometimes we as women, and I just spoke to someone earlier about this, sometimes we as women, we could be so damn nagging. We can get on your nerves. You know, we start arguments. I did a live yesterday about this. Sometimes we are the problem, and we don't like to admit it. And we'll go tell somebody else. And next thing you know, they'll say, yeah, you're right, girl. He did such and such. Nah, we're the problem. You know, let's just be honest about it. And on the DL, I just hate to tell people this, but I am like an advocate for men, and I'm going to tell you why. I advocate for men. I advocate for my sister too, but I'm an advocate for men because guess what? Women, we always have somebody to talk to. It could be our co-workers. It could be our friends. Hell, it could be their friends. We always got somebody to talk to. Men don't always have people to talk to intimately. They're not always going to tell their friends or their intimate business, okay? So if a man says, you know, I'm going through whatever in my relationship, he's going to be like, nah, dog, you know, just give it, you know, the conversation is going to be short. Whereas we women, we're gonna go all into details. We're gonna give you all kind of scenarios. Men don't always have that. Because let me just tell you this, okay? Believe it or not, and this is a segue, I have a lot of men who are abused by women. So that's coming to me like, says, she just told me I ain't shit. She just told me I'm this, all kind, our tongues are reckless.
No,
So
man, listen, that is so true. I don't think women realize how powerful their mouth is when they're talking to men. Because sometimes it's like they could be, oh, I'm with the, and you talking to your man like that, and it's like, dang, you just gonna disrespect me like that, and then you expect me to do all this stuff you had, you done lost your mind. Because some women don't get what respect is our love. Y'all got love, but we got respect. If you disrespect or you don't show us respect, and that's not if we being disrespectful. It's if we doing what we supposed to, and you disrespect me, I'm not messing with you. Like you're not gonna like as a man, you never gonna let somebody a human disrespect you. Like you not gonna. I'm as a man. I don't care what I look like. I don't care how big you are. I don't care what you do for a living. You're not gonna disrespect me because at the end of the day, you're a human like I'm a human. So women don't realize like you can say something to a dude and and crush his whole spirit, and he be sitting there like, man, I ain't doing nothing. Man, you want me to do what? Spend some money? You done lost your damn mind. And women don't realize that's why. It don't got nothing to do with nothing else. It got something to do with you talking down to us or talking to us like we your child. And it could be like, and sometimes women don't realize like you got this expectation of this man, but he ain't there yet. He ain't grew. Sometimes it take us men longer to become a man and how to be a man and do the right stuff than it does for you to be a woman. So if you got somebody that's trying, if you got somebody that's willing to be a better man, and then you just talking crazy, man, listen, who gonna spend some money on you? I'm not. Take you out. What? Do what you get your nails done, and you better go in there and put some lotion on your feet. You talk crazy to me, and it's like women they gotta realize that. And sometimes men, we got a slick mouth too. So it ain't just on women, because I know, dudes are, but it's like if that woman take you there, don't go there. Because you gonna end up in a worse situation because it's a woman. Because if the police come, guess what? They on you. They ain't on her. They on you. Like she could have stole on you. You just grabbed her to stop her. It's on you. So don't put yourself in that situation, especially if it happened once. If it happened once, shame on me. Happened twice, hey, you go back 3, 4 times. That's on that. You can't say it's her. That's you.
Rebecca, let me tell you, right? And I'm speaking from, like I said, personal and what I've been through, right? So sometimes we have grown up and we have functioned in dysfunction. Okay. The reason why I say that is because growing up, especially as kids, you really didn't have a voice. People just kind of like, our parents just cussed us out, told us off, hurt our feelings. They didn't say they were sorry. What they do, be like, you want something to eat? You want to go out? That was their way of saying sorry. But meanwhile, you still holding that because that's all you know. That was your communication. So as you got older, you never learned how to effectively communicate. And then when you get in relationships, only thing you know is how to cuss somebody out. Meanwhile, when that dude be like, I don't want to be bothered with you, I'm good. He don't care if he's broke. He doesn't care if what you say. When he walk out that door, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you got the best job, you done graduated from Harvard, you the best looking woman. He don't care. He will go over there with the chick with, like I said, Section 8 and doing, because guess what? Because she's treating him like a king. He's being respected over there. She like, okay, daddy, okay. She ain't really causing no havoc, right? Because sometimes, like I said, we as women, we bring this stuff. And don't get me wrong, because men, we'll get to them one day, but women, we could be reckless. And the first thing we do is we'll say, you ain't got shit. You ain't got a job. You ain't got a car. You ain't making no money. I bought this. I bought that. We're going to throw it in their face. Meanwhile, they still holding it, what you done said, right? And that's what it is. Or some of you I mean, plenty of songs have said it. You got the good girls who like the bad boys. But when you like these bad boys, guess what? Or they've been locked up, or they haven't, they know what being in a dysfunctional situation is. You can't expect him to be emotionally connected to you the same way as someone who had that. It's different because guess what? He's so used to being a certain way. So now you coming in cussing him out all this. He like, shit, I got this chick next door. And I'm going to be honest with you, ladies. Every day, as long as I can remember, I've had male friends. Some of them had wives. Some of them had girlfriends. Some of them had fiancés. Y'all be at home cussing them out. Meanwhile, they calling me like, yo, can you hold my $1,000 that I made? I ain't gonna give it to her because she reckless with it. Can you trade this? Can you do this? So now like I become like their little admin, which I'm not using it as like that tone, but he's confiding in me. He's saying this because guess what? Because you just told me he ain't shit. You done told if he didn't come and pick the baby up from school when you wanted him to, you saying he ain't shit, but maybe he need to get to work. Maybe he couldn't go pick up the baby. We got to realize that when a man leaves the house, right, when he walks out that door, he's fighting a lot of battles on a lot of fronts. You don't even know if he's going to come home. You don't know how it's going to be. You don't know when he walk out, and this is happening, so I want people to pay attention. Somebody 20 years before that he don't even remember saying that he raped her. Now he getting locked up because there's no statute or anything. It's just word of mouth. You don't need rape kits. You don't need police. That's what I'm saying. So now guess what too? Maybe she done spoke to somebody on the internet. Now this dude got a RICO and he like, wait a minute, a RICO? Yeah, because this chick them saying he done raped her 20 years ago. So I'm just saying when it comes to our men, we have to be mindful because they're hunted. Because one thing is women, we will make a short-term decision based on our emotions that will affect the rest of our lives or his life too. Because if you think Me Too and Time's Up is not serious and exists, oh, it does. Okay, it really does. Right now, they're building one of the biggest jails or prisons in Alabama. Because it's no longer where people are like, oh yeah, he hit me, we're gonna get state charges. No, it don't work that way anymore. Because now everything we have is computers. So now we know everything that we do is going through some type of social media. And we know how it is. You can online, oh, he ain't shit, he ain't this, that, and the other. You start typing in, guess what? Now this man got a charge that he didn't even realize. Hold on one second. Yeah, hold on one second. Oh, yeah, so oh yeah, that's my dog, my parent. Okay, thank you. So yeah, so now he got a charge that he didn't even realize he was going to get. So that's what I'm saying. Like, be mindful. We've seen this, what we call them the Karens, but it ain't no Karens out there. There's some Shaquanas out there that's doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's so, like, everything you just said is so true. I was just talking to a dude. We was talking about black men's mental health, and it's like going out as a black man and coming back home is hard because you don't just say you get pulled over, or say you at the wrong place at the wrong time, like, or it could be somebody that had a beef with you back in high school and you don't even remember, and they like, oh yeah, and they tough guy Tony because they got a gun now, or whatever the case may be. Or like I said, you get pulled over. It ain't just, oh, I might go to jail. I could die.
I'm dying.
Like, I might not make it home. And so then like you said, you go home and she nagging. You could have. It's like when you was a kid and you cleaned up and your mama. Did you get behind the couch? You could come home, do everything. You done took the kids here, but you forgot to do this. Damn, why? Like, dang, I just told you about my day. Or if we tell you about our day, you just complaining, but you come home every day. So, Karen, she did this and this today. You want us to listen to you, but y'all don't listen to us. And that's where stuff gets, like you said, communication. Communication is key. Like, you can't just always talk. You got to listen. And when, it's a meme or something. If a dude talks to you, that means he trusts you. Like, if we vent to a person, we trust you enough to vent to you. Like I had a best friend as a female, and I ain't gonna lie, it's certain stuff. If I knew something was going, hey, I need you to over here because I don't trust everybody. I trust you. I know. And it's like it be like that when you messing with other females, because females, especially if you're a dude and say you got a female friend, oh, y'all doing this, and that, and that. No, I can go to her family reunion and everybody call me cousin. She can come to my family and they, hey, oh, how you doing? How your mama doing? Whatever the case. And it's just crazy because that communication is very important. And like you said, and like I said, women, y'all have to realize y'all can't talk to us like y'all talk to somebody off the street. Y'all can't just come in and think, oh, I'm gonna cuss you out. You cuss me out, I'm gonna laugh at you because it's just words. Like you could mother effer did it better, but I'm gonna laugh at you. But then you could say something that ain't even a cuss word and tear us down, and then you expect us to do this and do that and do that. No, you gotta watch your mouth. And as men, we can't always respond to that foolishness. Like at some point, like you said, you gotta get away from that unfunctional thinking that we came up with, or not telling somebody sorry, or actually explaining how you express how you feel because they gonna get on their feelings. If they get on their feelings, if they don't get on their feelings, you gonna get on your feelings because you didn't tell them. So somewhere the ice gotta be broken. And somebody like me, I'm gonna tell you because I want you to tell me. I'm a person that you can see it on my face, but I'm listening and I'm gonna correct what I did wrong. But if I'm talking to you and you ain't corrected, but I'm correcting, that can't work. And that's just how relationships are. Like I don't think a lot of people, like you said, we don't know how to communicate because listening is a part of communication. You have to listen, ladies, listen. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but y'all gotta listen. Stop talking so much because we actually have something to say. I was talking to a female and she was like, dudes, they be like, oh, they want to kick it or whatever, but they don't want to talk. Listen, I was like, I love to talk. You want to talk? We can talk. Whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about. We have to talk, but y'all have to listen. Because if y'all don't listen, y'all not going to get it. And stop picking out the negative. We done told y'all a whole 20-minute segment. You took the 20 seconds out that was negative, and that's what you want to reply with. Stop doing that. It don't work.
No, you're right. And sometimes what we do is we'll hear to respond instead of listen. You know, we're ready to respond. We'll be like waiting for him to say something. And meanwhile, you don't forgot the whole thing he just said. You know, the whole thing, we missed it. Prime example, right? I've been looking at this Blueface and what's her name? Sherison Rock or whatever, his girlfriend.
Oh yeah, Blueface, yeah, that toxic bullshit. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Stay drunk, right? But she's so funny, right? So I was like, I cannot believe it's like 3:00 in the morning and I'm watching her, right? Because she's drunk, but she's toxic, but she's such a ride or die, right? But she stayed drunk, right? Because really, she loves him to death. Like she loves him to the point where it's scary, right? He done went out there and had 2 kids on him. She don't care. But like once you get past all that, the girl is smart and she's like an athlete. Like you see her do that gladiator thing, whatever. She loved it. See, if she stopped drinking and want to fight and calm down, like she would not be a bad girlfriend. Because one thing about her, if somebody do something to you, oh, you ain't got to worry about it because she right there. She jumping in. She fighting. You know, and the reason why I say that is because I know people may say, oh, yeah, she's toxic. She stay drunk. But one thing about him, he don't have to worry about saying too much of nothing. She got his back. And that's what you want, right? No matter if you're a female, you want a man, whatever the case may be, you want somebody to be like, look, I got it. We go somewhere and somebody disrespecting you, somebody better jump in and say something. You know, like I said, she got her little ways, but for real, I was like, she is so cool. And she come out with it like a straight dude. She got the hoodie on. She putting the grease on her face. She ready to fight. Tooth getting knocked out and everything. She don't care. But like I said, it's a toxic situation. But at the end of the day, you want somebody to support you. I'm just gonna say one thing, right? Old school. Remember, like when our fathers, grandfathers come in the house, first 15, 20 minutes, nobody couldn't say nothing to him because she wanted him to regroup, get his thoughts together, to relax. We have to go back sometime to that old school way, right? Because when dad came home, granddad, whatever, food was done, the house clean, the kids is not bothering. You couldn't say nothing to him, like I said, the first 15, 20 minutes. When that man walking through the door, now we have cell phones and everything. Let him get home, right? Let him get himself together because I need to get myself together. And then hit him with one or two things. Don't hit him like he's on the first 48. Ease into it because everybody's communication is different, right? Everybody is. Sometimes you may have to say something in such a way that maybe you wouldn't have said it 20 minutes ago, right? You just kind of calm down, right? And ask them like, how you feeling? Forget how was your date, but how you feeling now? Because don't forget, he been hunted, right? Think about it. Every day you walk out that door, you're hunted. And like I've heard people say, oh, they're not the scary black man, because we know, let's just be honest, you're a little darker, you are considered the scary black man. You have certain features, you're the scary black man. If you don't look like John Legend, you're the scary black man. There's no more, Billy D. Williams on TV no more. You know what I mean? It's no more that. So let him calm down. And then he'll tell you. He may not tell you at that moment, might tell you that night. But let's just let him calm down. Now, am I perfect? Like I said, absolutely not. Because guess what? Sometimes I was the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember my mom, like when she would come home, I think she'd take her little 20, 30 minutes, go in her room, be like, leave me alone for a minute. Then she come out. And you gotta have that. Like not just men, women too. Like you get off work, hey, leave your mama alone. Cause soon as so it don't matter which parent it is, as soon as you come in, here come kids. Woo, how's it's like, hold on, dang. Especially with somebody being a teacher. I'm a teacher. It's like, all right, son. All right, give me just a second. My thing, I go hide in the bathroom. Yeah.
God bless you.
Yeah, I'm a kindergarten teacher at that. Yeah. So it's like my hideaway would go in the bathroom. Like I always gotta use the bathroom when I get home. So I'm gonna go in the bathroom. I might be in there in a minute. I remember my granddad used to be in the bathroom. I mean, I don't know what he used to do. Like he had no phone or nothing, and he couldn't really see, so it wasn't like reading nothing. But he'd be in the bathroom for a minute, and I'm like, I'd be the same way, but I'd be on my phone or whatever, or I'd bring something to read, and I'd be just like, "Ooh, this is peaceful." And sometimes you need that. Like me and the guy was talking about, he was like, you need that space. That like when you get home, let whoever, hey, y'all get home at the same time. All right, who going first? Kids, all right, do, whatever the case. Or if you, you just in a relationship, give that person time when they get home. Maybe they like to come home, take a shower, and relax or whatever. Give them that, because sometimes men or women, mainly women, want to come in, and it's like, hold on now. Like I just had a rough day at work. I just want to sit right here in my chair, sit in my spot for a second, and breathe. And it could be the same with a woman. So this has been a great conversation. Like we've talked about a lot of different relationships. You've talked about the craziness. I ain't gonna lie to you. When you said my man's getting beat up by his girl and she in a wheelchair, she said she gonna roll up. I dang near had to. I was about to have to. That's a funny. But we talked about everything. We talked about all kind. We both mentioned stuff that we've, in relationships. But give people three tips that they can utilize in their relationship once they hear the episode.
Okay. So the first thing is be the helpmate, right? And the man is the head, you're the neck. Now, is it always going to be easy? Absolutely not. It sounds good, but it ain't always easy, right? It's not. The second thing is, like we said, be yourself. And the third thing is keep people out your business. Family, friends, whomever, keep them out your business. Talk it over. because guess what? They can't help you. You know, people, especially if they're going through something in their relationship or they're going to tell you everything you should not do. Like, leave them, you know. But meanwhile, be careful because someone may be checking your man out too. So, you know, just be careful. And then, oh, one more thing is this, guys and females, some of you are living double lives, right? Be mindful. And the reason why I say that is because you're one way in your relationship, but meanwhile, you're having a whole other internet relationship. So just be careful because you have a lot of people out here that's considered trolls on these social medias. And guess what? They're waiting to get your address so they can call and stalk your partners, call your jobs, get you fired, all kind of stuff. So be mindful when it comes to social media. And I know people don't always say it, but like I said, I'm in these groups and social medias and stuff. And let me tell you, you got the principal at home, but meanwhile, he's online talking trash to his female, and next thing you know, she calling his job like, yeah, let me send you some video of this dude. Now he done lost his job. So be careful. Thank you so much too for having me, but most importantly for being a teacher, because I always think they're overworked, underpaid, underappreciated, and some of you send your kids to school so you can get a break because you know that they are bad and out of hand, and now you expect this man to raise your child. But when the teacher tells him to be quiet, tell your kid to be quiet or check them, stop it, because guess what? They're building more jails and prisons. So they already know by the time that kid's in the third or fourth grade whether or not he's going to be in prison or she. So unless you want to go visit your child in the grave or the jail or prison, leave them teachers alone, because by the time they call you, it's probably the situation is out of hand. You know your child is bad, discipline him. He is not your child's parent. But if he has to check him, let him check him, leave him alone, because you don't have a lot of black teachers out there, men teachers, okay? Because we know 60% of black men are locked up or even in the ground. So leave that man alone. What state you teach in?
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh, Jesus, see? You deserve, they need to give you a $50,000 raise.
Yeah, I appreciate that because that's very true. Like, parents, they'll send their kids to school knowing little man bad, and then try to. And I keep it funky with parents. Like, I try not to. You can't say everything, but I keep it funky with you. I'm gonna let you know about your child. I ain't gonna just come out and be like, oh, they this. No, they do good in this, but we need to get this area fixed. And like you said, we not parents. We not supposed to be up raising. We supposed to help y'all. So even as a parent, I get it. Sometimes I'm not on my son when it comes to schoolwork. His mom definitely is. She's on it more than I am. But I make sure I work on his character. I work on who he is. Because if anybody know my son, he is an angel at school, but he is Chucky at home. And that's the way it's supposed to be, in a sense. Like, I wish he stopped being Chucky at home, but he ain't really Chucky, but y'all get what I'm saying. But he knows how to go to school. He knows how to be respectful. He knows what to do, because he knows if he don't, his mom or his daddy gonna show up at his school, and he don't want me to show up at his school. And that's just, that's just life. You gotta make sure that you helping the teacher. The teacher ain't the parent. You're the parent. You gotta help, and they gotta help you. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you for being on. I appreciate for you for what you do, because I've definitely been in relationships. Done my dirt. I've done different things, and I realize what I've done wrong. So I definitely know being in a bad relationship, or a relationship you shouldn't be in too long, can mess up, things in the long run with you, that person, even kids, especially if kids involved. So I always ask my guests to give a quote. It could be your quote. It could be a quote you read. It could be a quote you live by, whatever, but we need a quote.
Sure. Always do something that makes you feel good and others feel the impact.
Mm. I almost wanted to say peace, one love on that note, but tell people how they can reach you. And yeah, tell people how they can reach you.
Wait, you just went silent right there. Yeah, because you know what you do, like you helping people, so we trying to make the world a better place. So you can reach me. I'm on all socials, right? But Dr. Lamarr Spencer, and I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I have a podcast. I'm on my podcast. I'm on YouTube. If you type in Dr. Lamarr Spencer, trust me, I will come up. But yeah, just reach out to me, even if it's a question or something like that. I'm always willing to help. We can go old school. Don't be trying to call me collector. I don't even know if people do, but 973-214-6464 or Dr. Lamarr Spencer at gmail.com. LamarrSpencerdr. So thank you so very much. It's been, fun. As you see, I could talk all night, but
yeah, definitely. I can too, especially about relationships. But I appreciate you. I will definitely have her information in the show notes. You can reach me on all social media at Underdog Talk Podcast, Underdog Talk Podcast at Gmail. If you got good, bad things, if you want to be a guest, if you want to reach out to a guest, whatever the case may be. Do you have any closing words before we get out of here?
No, I think I said enough. Like I said, we're just trying to make it a better place, and just try to be a good person. Really, that's all it is. Because we want you to come home at night, because regardless, your kids need you, right? They need you, and your family needs you, because so often, especially now, we're losing our men toward the penal system or in the grave. So we need you to come home, especially our men. And I say it because, again, they're hunted. And again, I know people are like, oh, yeah, she's speaking for the men. No, really, when you look at the averages, they're skewed. All right, so, but thank you so very much again. This was fun. And we didn't even have anything planned. We just kind of spoke off the cuff, so that was cool.
Yeah. And on that note, peace. One love. I'm the underdog with the heroic heart. I'm Eric Jones Jr. I have to keep pushing for my kids. If I give up, what's that leave them with? Nothing. I have to understand that it's bigger than me. That it's not about me when I wake up and go to work. It's not about me when I'm reading and educate myself. It's not about me when I'm practicing my speeches. It's not about me. It's about my family.